Hi everybody. All right, Justin. Yeah, so when we first started ISF, it stands for Invictus Spirit Foundation. Invictus Spirit means unbreakable spirit in Latin. And when I first did this, it was all by accident. I never knew my Vietnamese roots. I'm born American, so I spoke English and everything. You know, to me, pizza, everything was more familiar than pho. But I went to Vietnam and I met a lot of people, and they were showing me a lot of things. Here's Chi. She actually showed me a picture of these kids that she was working at orphanage. Made me realize, like, wow, like, how do I get involved? And I've had a lot of interesting journeys and experiences. Top right one, I actually visited Thailand. We were helping kids out there. That's the first time they've actually had ice cream ever in their entire lives. So something that we take for granted is like mind-boggling. And we actually had to get them on a pickup truck, ship it at the right time, and like tell the driver to like speed and break all the laws. So that was super fun. And then you just never know what happens. Like all this started by accident, started snowballing. We were helping kids out in the mountains of northern Vietnam, giving them school supplies. Like, we had no idea what we were doing, and we were just like, hey, you know, what do you need? How can we help? And that's how we got going. A lot of what we do, right, is currently in a 3-tier program. We focus on keeping families together. As we learned helping these kids out who start off orphanages, but we recognize like, hey, these kids have like emotional and mental trauma. How do we solve that early on? And so we reached out to families, like, hey, why are kids being abandoned? Right? Like, what is forcing you to make this decision? And a lot of them, they're struggling. They're impoverished. They're like, hey, I can't afford to keep my kids. I can barely feed myself, so I can't afford them. Like, so we come in and we say, hey, we'll pay your rent, we'll give you food, we'll help you get a job, we'll help keep your kids in school. Like, don't worry about it. Just like focus on being a parent. And so far, we've supported several families. We've found a lot of success. We also do vocational training because we recognize a lot of these kids, they'll be older, 16 and plus, and they didn't go through grade school. And so it's more difficult for them to go to college. But we want them to find fulfillment in life, a way to earn money and to support themselves. And then for exceptional kids, we've worked with other organizations. One of them is called P&D, and it's a 3-year tech program. And in that program, they'll learn how to code and develop. For one girl, her family's earning about $5 to $10 a month. She just graduated, now she's making $700 a month, which is a huge difference for her and her family. Her little sister now will go to school. Their family has means to, like, instead of going out to the nature and wilderness looking for food, they can actually like earn it. They can invest in husbandry, raise farm animals. I'd also like to introduce our board of directors. 2 of them couldn't make it today. One's in Italy and the other just moved to Alabama. But myself, I'm the founder and president. My best friend, Michael Ostalton, he's a doctor. Justin, he is a professional engineer. And then Min, who is our chief storyteller, and he's a software engineer. Yeah. We're all bigger brothers. Like, we're not like we're just 4 dudes trying to do the right thing. Like, we've been very blessed to be in America, to have good careers, and we wanted to give back. So that's what we're trying to do. And here's where we are now, right? We've grown a lot since 2019, where it's just me going in there with like a wallet full of cash and like, how can I help? To like, hey, like, what's the strategic direction? Like, hey, when these kids finish school, what's the next step? Like, is there a gap? Ultimately, our goal is to bring all these different organizations together in a summit and see, like, hey, how can we find synergies? How can we bring resources together? And how do we get the Vietnamese government more involved as well? So here are some of the students. This is their first field trip into Marble Mountains. So they'll study in Danang for 3 years, but most of the time they won't have the luxury of going out and seeing the city and enjoying what Danang has to offer. Those are, on the right, slums in Hanoi. A lot of people don't realize, but outside the outskirts of Hanoi, there are illegal slums, and this is where most of the families reside. During disaster efforts, we also help bring first aid kits. We've had our first introduction to the Ministry of Health in Vietnam. That was very interesting. And then here's Mike talking to some of the students. This is the dorm that they live in. They study, they'll go to class, and this is their entire life for 3 years. They do get every off, they'll go see their families for TED. And then the last one. So one of our partners is Blue Dragon, and the co-founder, his name is B. And this is where he used to live as a kid. He was one of the kids that Blue Dragon rescued. And he showed us this is, every night he come here, climb through the gaps, and just sleep on this pillar. And now he's doing very well. His life's, fulfilling. He's co-CEO, Blue Dragon, and a great partner. This is Mike. He's a doctor, so turns out, when a lot of these kids need medical care, they just don't know. A lot of these caretakers mean well, but they're not trained. The doctors themselves aren't necessarily able to help. Is very overwhelmed in Vietnam. So he came over and helped them understand how to change the filter bags and prevent any infection. This is in Hanoi. Not Hanoi, Hazang. And this is a lot of the students that we support for vocational training. They'll do seamstress, they'll do husbandry, they'll do HVAC and electrician work, as well as mechanic or motorbikes. And these are the 3 girls that we're supporting. 2 of them have just graduated, we're very proud of them. 1 more is graduating soon. And we'll have a next round of 4 students going through. Honestly, these kids are pretty incredible. The things they go through, and if you meet them, they're just so sincere, so humble. They're really good kids. Even when we come, they're super polite. They ask how they can help people. These are kids who don't have anything, and they're always looking out how to help others. And this is Min. He's a software engineer, so he's talking to the students a little bit about development or something. I'm not a developer, so I don't know, but they seem to appreciate his insights. And this is a video from Blue Dragon. Charlie can turn up sound. So just want to say thank you everyone for showing up. This is our second event. We don't know what we're doing, but we're figuring things out, and really your support makes a huge difference. From the first event, we were able to take care of several families. We actually now are in discussions with Blue Dragon to expand to additional families. And it's pretty crazy the amount of impact we have for something so little. So thank you so much everyone for coming here. Happy holidays. Thank you so much. Yeah. All right. Happy holidays. Thanks, Mom. You guys can stand up if you want. Oh, FYI, you guys want to do karaoke. This machine does karaoke. But I don't know, everyone seems a little shy, so start us off. I don't know, I'm chronic bronchitis.